American Express has been making some major changes that is honestly making American Express credit cards way less desirable and objectively worse. From increasing annual fees to restricting welcome offers and limiting lounge access, American Express has been in the news a lot recently, unfortunately mainly due to negative reasons. And so in this video, I'm going to go over 4 major changes for why you need to avoid all American Express credit cards. The first major change is that American Express has altered the offer terms, which is going to restrict you from getting the welcome offers on specific American Express cards. This all started a couple months ago when American Express made some major changes to the Amex Platinum card. And one of those changes was altering the offer terms for the vanilla version and Charles Schwab versions of the Amex Platinum. The new offer terms basically say that you're ineligible to receive the welcome offer for the vanilla Platinum or Charles Schwab Platinum if you've previously had any versions of the Amex Platinum, which includes the vanilla version, Charles Schwab version, and Morgan Stanley version. The only version of the Amex Platinum in which the offer terms were not altered was the Morgan Stanley version. So the strategy here would be to apply and get the welcome offer for the regular or Schwab versions of the Amex Platinum first, and then get the Morgan Stanley version afterwards so that you can still get 2 different welcome offers on the American Express Platinum. Still though, this change is very impactful because credit card welcome offers are the quickest and easiest way to accumulate credit card points. And the Amex Platinum consistently has one of the highest welcome offers that is available. So this change to the offer terms reduces your ability to accumulate a significant amount of American Express points that you can use for free travel. To make matters worse, American Express has taken it a step further and changed the offer terms on the Amex Gold card as well. Now you are not eligible to receive a welcome offer on the Amex Gold if you've previously had any version of the Amex Platinum, which is unfortunate because there's a decent amount of people who get the Amex Platinum card first. And now it's going to be extremely important to make sure that you get the Amex Gold card first so you don't become ineligible for that welcome offer. Ultimately, American Express is just making it way more difficult on us as consumers to earn American Express points. And not only are they making it much more difficult to even be eligible for certain welcome offers, but they are also making some welcome offers less attainable to even get. As an example, the Amex Platinum increased the spend requirement to get the welcome offer from $6,000 to $8,000 in the first 6 months. Next up, another reason that you need to avoid all American Express credit cards is because they continue to add hard to use credits on a lot of their credit cards. I will get to the worst credit offenders like the Amex Platinum and Amex Gold in a second, but first, let's start with the most recent American Express credit cards that just added some new credits. Those credit cards are going to be the Hilton Aspire and Hilton Surpass, and I did just make a full video going over all of those changes and my honest thoughts on them. So if you're interested in seeing that full breakdown, then go watch that video when you're done watching this one. But essentially, the annual fees were increased, and to make up for that annual fee increase, American Express added some new credits to the Hilton Aspire and Hilton Surpass. The problem is some of those credits that American Express added, which theoretically account for the annual fee increase, are actually going to be really hard to use. On the Hilton Aspire, they replaced a $250 resort credit with a $400 resort credit, which on the surface sounds like a huge plus, but the problem is that new $400 resort credit is going to be split up into 2 $200 semi-annual credits, which means that you can't use that entire credit for one Hilton property stay, which makes it just tougher on us as consumers to have to spread that credit out across multiple stays. Additionally, the Hilton Aspire replaced the $250 airline fee credit with a $200 flight credit, which actually could be better because you can now use that new flight credit directly toward the cost of the flight. But the problem is that $200 flight credit is going to be split up into 4 $50 quarterly increments, which again just makes it way harder on us as consumers to get the full value from that credit. On the Hilton Surpass, American Express added a $200 Hilton credit, but the theme of American Express splitting up those credits into different increments continues because that new Hilton credit is going to be split up into 4 $50 quarterly increments. Next up, American Express made some major changes to the American Express Business Gold card, which is a card that I personally have. Basically, American Express increased the annual fee on that card by $80 up to $375. However, just as a quick side note, that annual fee doesn't increase until February 2024. So if you want to lock in your first year of the lower annual fee, then make sure to apply before then, and I do have the link to that card down in the description of this video. The Amex Business Gold added some new point categories, such as for transit purchases. And then in terms of statement credits, the Business Gold card added 2 new statement credits, which are going to be for $20 a month at Grubhub, FedEx, or office supply stores, as well as $155 back for a monthly Walmart Plus membership. Personally, I think this is the most welcome addition of any monthly statement credits that were added to American Express credit cards, because while I probably won't get value out of the Walmart Plus membership. The annual fee on the Business Gold card increased by $80. And I think I'll pretty much be able to maximize the value for $240 worth of Grubhub credits, which essentially means that the new credits would give me 3 times more value than the annual fee increase. But while the new credits on the Business Gold card are a net positive, at least for me, some of the other credits that have been added to other American Express credit cards are much more negative. As an example, the Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant made some significant changes to the structure of their credits, which happened about a year ago at this point. Previously, the Bonvoy Brilliant gave you a $300 Marriott statement credit, which was valuable in the sense that that Marriott credit wasn't split up into different increments, so you could use it all at once, or if you wanted to, you could use it for different times throughout the year. Now, instead of that $300 Marriott statement credit, the Bonvoy Brilliant gives you a $300 dining credit instead. That $300 dining credit can be used at restaurants worldwide, but it is going to be split up into $25 monthly increments. In my opinion, this is a net negative because the monthly increments make the credit way more difficult to use since you can't use the bulk of that $300 credit for a nice birthday or anniversary dinner. And if you don't use the $25 monthly dining credit on a particular month, well then you're pretty much just out of luck because the credits don't roll over. So you'll basically just miss out on getting additional value. Additionally, in my opinion, the worst credit offender in terms of American Express credit cards is the Amex Gold. The Amex Gold card gives you 2 $120 credits, which are the dining and Uber credits that overall give you $240 in value. So on the surface, those credits are great and can lower your effective fee down from $250 down to just $10. But there are a couple of issues with those 2 credits on the Amex Gold. First of all, you have to make sure that the Uber and dining credits make sense within your organic spending. And what I mean by that is that you want to make sure that you are already spending money on Uber or Uber Eats, as well as Grubhub or one of those other dining options every single month. Because if that's not the case, then you can't really make the argument that these credits can lower your effective fee at all. And even if you're like me and you use those food delivery services a couple times a month, so you can use those credits within your organic spending, well, even then, since the credits are split up, $10 a month really is not very much, and it's almost never gonna cover the entire cost of a meal. I do everything I can to lower the cost, like set my Grubhub account to Pickup, and then order at more affordable places like Chipotle. But when you consider the service fees and the markup of prices, it's gonna be pretty difficult a lot of times to actually stay within that $10 monthly increment. American Express knows this and it's their way of getting more money out of us every single month. But splitting up those food credits into monthly increments definitely makes it way harder to actually fully use, and it makes us spend more money than we otherwise would have. Finally, last but not least, because this is definitely the biggest credit offender, is the American Express Platinum. Back in 2021, the Amex Platinum made some major changes, which included increasing the annual fee to $695. And in order to justify that annual fee increase, the Amex Platinum added a bunch of different benefits and credits. But the problem is some of those credits are going to be harder to use and some of them are split up. Personally, I think the longer the time horizon of a credit, the easier it is to use and the more flexibility that you have. And the American Express Platinum does have some valuable annual credits that can be used at pretty much any time, with the most useful annual credits being a $200 hotel credit towards American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts, a $200 airline fee credit, and a $189 clear credit. But despite those annual credits, the Amex Platinum is going to have some other credits that are supposedly going to lower your effective fee. However, a lot of those other credits are more difficult to use in part because of their shorter time horizon. First, the Amex Platinum is going to give you a $100 Saks Fifth Avenue credit, but it's going to be split up into 2 $50 semi-annual credits. This one isn't as bad, but it can still definitely be limiting because Saks Fifth Avenue is more of an expensive store, so it defeats the ability to use that entire credit towards a nice birthday or Christmas gift. Next up, we have the $240 digital entertainment credit, which is going to be split up into $20 monthly increments, and those can be used for services like Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus. This credit can actually work well since a lot of those services cost less than the $20 monthly amount, but American Express just removed Audible from the list of services that you could use this credit for, which in my opinion was the best option. And a lot of people used Audible for this credit, so that becomes limiting too. The Amex Platinum is going to give you $200 in Uber cash, but that is going to be split up into $15 monthly increments, which as I talked about with the Amex Gold card earlier, this can be very limiting. And honestly, all of these monthly credits and different increments can just get overwhelming and really annoying to use to actually have to use to get value out of American Express credit cards. Next, another reason that you need to avoid American Express credit cards is because they have become way less accessible. The reason that Amex cards have become way less accessible is going to stem from two things, and that is going to be continued American Express annual fee increases and American Express pop-up jail. More so than with other credit card issuers, American Express has continued to increase the annual fees, especially on their more premium credit cards at a really high rate. Most recently, as I discussed earlier in this video, the American Express Business Gold Card raised its annual fee from $295 to $375. But honestly, regardless of what additional benefits or credits are added to a particular credit card, I think that constantly increasing a credit card's annual fee is a huge disservice to consumers, because there's a reason that we apply for specific credit cards that most closely align with our credit card strategy at the time. And if we wanted a more premium credit card that had additional benefits but a higher annual fee, then we would simply just apply for a different credit card. This trend is unfortunately very present across a lot of different American Express credit cards, with the American Express Platinum increasing its annual fee from $450 to $550, and then from $550 to $695 in 2021. The Marriott Bonvoy Brilliant increasing its annual fee from $450 to $650 in 2022. Both the Hilton Aspire and Hilton Surpass just increasing their annual fees as well. And then there are rumors that the personal Amex Gold Card is the next credit card to increase its annual fee. And honestly, given American Express's track record, it wouldn't surprise me. Making changes to a credit card and adding additional benefits and credits to justify an annual fee increase is great and all, but sometimes paying a higher annual fee than what you originally signed up for just doesn't make sense for your current strategy. And American Express's annual fee increases are either making you be okay with that higher annual fee, or consider canceling that card, which might have other negative ramifications. But in order to deal with an annual fee increase, you need to be able to get an American Express credit card in the first place. And this brings me into the second reason that American Express credit cards are way less accessible, which is Amex pop-up jail. Amex pop-up jail basically means that when you apply for an American Express credit card, you get a pop-up that says you are not eligible to receive this welcome offer. There's a couple different reasons that you could be in pop-up jail. So for one, American Express has a once per lifetime rule, which basically means that you cannot receive a welcome offer on a particular credit card more than once. So if you've already received a welcome offer on like the Amex Gold, let's say, then when you applied for that card again, you'd not be eligible to receive that welcome offer, and you'd probably see this dreaded pop-up. And then sometimes American Express might put you in pop-up jail if they feel that you're not putting enough spend on the current Amex cards that you already have. But sometimes you're doing everything right, and there's really no explanation for why you're in pop-up jail, because American Express's criteria can be really confusing. As an example, a couple months ago, I was trying to take advantage of the elevated welcome offer on the American Express Green Card. But you guessed it, when I submitted my application, I received the dreaded pop-up saying I was ineligible for that welcome offer. In a second attempt to secure this credit card, since the welcome offer really aligned with my travel plans, I had my wife apply for this credit card, and she was pop-up jailed as well. Really, American Express has just been weird about their applications recently, and pop-up jail has been a widespread issue affecting a lot of credit card users. Finally, the last major negative change for why you need to avoid American Express credit cards is lounge access. Don't worry, this isn't a huge change to Centurion lounge access, but instead there are some major changes that are going to affect your ability to go to Delta Sky clubs if you have the Amex Platinum, Amex Business Platinum, or a Delta co-branded credit card. Starting at the beginning of 2024, any Amex Platinum or Delta cardholders are not going to be able to access Delta Sky clubs if you were flying basic economy. Before this change, any Amex Platinum or Delta cardholder could have unlimited access to Delta Sky clubs when flying on a Delta flight. But now, to have any sort of access to Delta Sky clubs at all, you will not be able to go to a Delta Sky club with just a basic economy ticket, and instead you're going to have to purchase a higher fare. Additionally, arguably worse, at the start of 2025, even if you do purchase a higher fare ticket, your access is not going to be unlimited, but instead you're going to have limited visits. Going forward, if you have one of the Delta Reserve cards, you'll get 10 visits per year. And if you have one of the Amex Platinum cards, you'll get 6 Sky Club visits per year. Especially if you're someone who lives near an airport where there's a Delta Sky Club, and especially if they're your favorite lounges, then this change is going to be very impactful, and unfortunately in a negative way. I do understand that the lounge changes aren't completely the fault of American Express, and some of the blame goes to Delta as well. But American Express has made some significant changes to their lounges as well this year, with American Express nerfing guest access for Platinum cardholders, as Amex Platinum cardholders will now need to pay $50 per adult or $30 for children ages 2 to 17, in order to bring in guests to a Centurion Lounge with them. All in all, American Express still has the most valuable high-tier credit cards out there, but American Express has just been really frustrating recently with all the changes that they have made to hurt their credit card users. And if you want to see my full breakdown on all of the changes made to the Hilton Aspire and Hilton Surpass, then go watch this video next. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace.